All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. I have a special guest here today, and that's Mr. Carlos from Serrano's Mobile Detail. He's from Dallas, and I've been following for about over a year now on his YouTube and Instagram. And he's finally here in Houston. You'll watch another video where he trained our crew on correction and coatings, and I'll make that for another video. But I figured I'd kind of have him on this video and just kind of talk through his story, how he came through to where he is now, and then some advice to everyone that's just getting started in their business and how they can keep on kind of leveling up year after year. So, Mr. Serrano Sauce.
What's up?
Nice to have you.
Hey, I appreciate it.
All right, so first things first, just someone comes up to you and they're like, hey man, what do you do?
Man,
what do you tell them?
I tell them I'm a interior detail specialist and a paint correction specialist, pretty much. I love cleaning interiors.
So right now you do primarily what?
Strictly interiors, and more coatings now as well.
Now so right now you're doing interiors and coatings, right?
Pretty much.
Let's take it back all the way to when you were like, you know what, let me start my business. What kind of take us through in a maybe like a 3-minute timeline if you can, from when you said I want to start my business to taking those first few steps, and then what are some like the biggest takeaways on that first phase, whatever that phase means. What's that first phase of the biggest takeaways that you had?
Honestly, when I quit my full-time job at the car wash, I decided just, you know what, it's time for me to do my own thing. And then I quit and I started detailing with literally a bucket and a vacuum, which I thought it was going to be easy, but to be honest, it's easier to say I'm going to start my own business, which is, it's impossible. But I started it, and then my first objective was trying to get my foot on the ground, off the ground, because I didn't have money. So I did a lot of interiors from the get-go. And then slowly, throughout all these, months, I started saving little by little for just some minor equipment, I guess. And the full takeaway is just, not giving up on something that you really want to do.
So what was the, from when you wanted to start to like, you like actually making money, like, you're like, oh, this not a lot, but it's like, wow, this is like a steady flow of money coming in. What was like that time duration? Like from when you said, I'm starting my business to I'm making money from it on a monthly basis.
Man, that was probably about 2 years.
Yeah, which sounds like a lot, but that's how it was for me too. From 2011 to 2014, nothing was consistent at all. So
everything
was
after
2
down.
Years, you're like,
yeah,
it's consistent now?
Yeah, at the 2-year mark, it was when I actually started seeing, okay, this is working. And for those who follow my channel and stuff, you guys know a little bit the story. I got evicted. Everything was just not going right. So I had to survive for 3 months out of my truck. So finally, after 2 years, it's like everything started flowing. So I think 2 years mark is when I was like, okay, this is a business. It's working for me.
And on that one, like, so from when you started to when you, let's say you got consistent, those 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. What were some, like, how'd you get those customers? Like, what did you do? Like, how do you go from 2 years not making money and then it's like, oh, now it's consistent? What was the...
Honestly, I literally did door knockings. I went and knocked on people's doors just for an opportunity. I went to car lots to get some of those dirty interiors. And then word of mouth started going. And that's what really, the word of mouth started really kind of building me the clientele to where it just stayed very consistent. I was cheap too, so I think that kind of helped, I guess, push it, because I was literally outbidding all my competitors because I needed work.
So at that time, when you were first getting started, it was, I'm gonna charge cheap, not because it's just I just need the work.
Yeah,
I need to take on whatever comes my way.
I pretty much, it was do or die.
And okay, so when you started, when was that? Like, what year was that?
This was 6 years ago, so 2016, I think.
2016? Yeah, okay, that sounds fair. Yeah, yeah. So it goes to show you, like, literally everyone goes through the exact same thing of like, I'm just getting started. I don't have many customers. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna charge cheap. That's pretty. Would you still recommend that? Like when you're first getting started?
Yes.
You'd be like, bro, just get customers. Like,
That's
get
it.
experience. Like, do something.
Get your feet wet. If you literally start your business today, I say go look for your nearest local car lot. They're gonna give you work, but it's gonna be cheap. But hey, it's gonna get your foot in the door, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's not sexy. It's not like you're gonna work on these nice. It's just like just
Yeah.
get experience, just get work, just do something other than just keep on saying I want to start a business and not do anything about it. So as your business progressed, how did you do? Like, how did you get? You have a truck right now, right? A Tundra,
Yeah, I have
right?
my truck, a Tundra.
So on that one, did you purchase that truck specifically for detailing? Did you
I
already have
did.
it?
I had a Nissan Pathfinder, and I would work out of that. But I needed a water tank, and I need to get more equipment. So I ended up buying this Tundra 2016. Literally, when I started my business, this truck's been with me. So for 6 years, it's been with me.
Are you gonna? How's it working out of a truck versus like a van? Or
Honestly, I think when it comes to a lot of people asking about a van or a truck, I love my truck. But like for instance, your vehicle, y'all's mobile setup, I can put more stuff in there for sure.
yeah.
Out of my truck, it's like I'm not limited, but I'm limited. But I'm slowly working on getting a better setup out of that truck.
Yeah. So on that one, what's the like? What are some cons to driving a truck?
Driving a truck, you don't have space. You're
Like,
very,
so one, he doesn't have a camper. It's just an open,
Open
not even
space.
a cover over it. It's just open,
open space.
Open, yeah. It's
when it rains, you'll see me upset because everything's getting wet. So yeah, you're very limited really on a rainy day as to if you have a van, you can go work because everything is protected, right? And you can literally back into the customer's garage or something and clean the car. So yeah, but having a truck, it has its pros and cons, but I think eventually maybe I'll switch over to like a little transit van. But I love my truck though.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, why haven't you moved made the just because you love your truck?
I love my truck.
The sentimental part of like
Sentimental, yeah, for sure. This truck has been through everything with me. But I also wanted to get a van, but a customer once told me like she was happy for me to come in a truck because she had a thing about vans roaming around her neighborhood. I guess from people, I don't know, she'd be watching these crazy movies of people stealing kids or whatever, but she was happy I didn't show up in a van. But I don't know, that's just an opinion from one person. But a van I think would definitely be the best route, but I love my truck.
Okay, so let's say you started in 2016 and then you charged 2 years, it wasn't really going well. So in 2018 you kind of found your
I found my
gears.
groove.
So from there, how like at the 2 year mark, were you like, all right, I'm gonna start charging more? Or
Yeah.
how was that progression of like cheap dealership work to like now corrections and coatings?
Yeah,
And,
so my pricing started at 50 and back then. So that's what I started. And then I slowly raised my prices by $20. So it's like at the 1 year, then I raised them to 60, and then I went to 80. Well, that was actually 10, but 60, 80. And then we are at the 2 year mark, I was like at 150. I think I was like, all right, I'm getting tired of being cheap.
and what kind of services were these? Still like just interior? or,
Yeah,
like,
strictly
what-
interior detailing, hand waxing, and that's pretty much it. I didn't offer corrections. I didn't offer none of that because I strictly knew only interior detailing. That's it. And then about the 2 year mark, I was already about 150. And then obviously now my interior detail starts at 300. And then if it's dirty, the price goes up.
So from 50 to now 300,
300
or up.
or up.
And then now for your corrections, just a general ballpark price.
650
For corrections?
for a one-step
For a one-step?
paint correction.
And let's say for full two-step and a 9 year coating,
It probably run like $2,000.
$2,000 now. Okay, so how'd you get the confidence to do that? Like, was it just because like, damn, I'm not making enough money, like I need to start charging more? Or is it, what was that like? How do you get over that mental hurdle of like, how do I charge more for, like, how do I just change the prices?
I think it was more of when it started with a customer. I charged him and he was like, "Bro, you're too cheap." Like he showed me a couple estimates and he was like, "You're the cheapest guy. Like, and your work is really good." He was like, "Know your worth." And I won't forget when he said that, is knowing your worth. And then since then, literally that has been stuck in my head that it's like I won't devalue my name anymore or my quality to make the customer happy. So now it's like I don't feel bad now. I just hit him with like, bro, it's $2,000.
So how do you feel about losing someone that says, oh, that's too expensive? Like, where do you draw the fine line between that is too expensive or like to someone that's like, well, I'm just getting started though. How do I value my worth if I'm just getting started?
Yeah.
What advice do you give to that person?
If you're just starting, honestly, I tell you, it's okay to start low, not cheap. Don't give your stuff away, right? If you're just starting right now, if you were to quit today, I think if you start your packages at $80 for the interior, you're okay, I would say. But if you could get it at 100, you're even better. But if you're new, don't be scared to really. If your work is good, it's okay to charge them accordingly. I'm sure y'all are good, but just charge accordingly. And that's what I can tell somebody that just started is, hey, be confident enough that when you tell that customer your price, they're not gonna hesitate. You just be very confident. That's key.
Okay, so you raise your prices. You're not doing correction coatings. Now, that was in 2016, 2018, and then so that's 2 years mark. And then when did you start offering correction?
Corrections, I started offering about I say about 3 years ago. But the reason I didn't offer them that much is because it was cost. I was really scared to tell a customer like your total is $1,500, and that's starting. So I didn't offer it because I was really scared of people saying no. But then I started getting more yeses, and I was like, okay, this actually works. So I just started offering it more, and then last year was literally my best year on doing coatings, which I don't know if I'll do it again, but it was my biggest year probably in my whole entire 6 years in business.
So on that one, when you're talking to the customer or to the potential customer about a coating, and you're saying, hey, in your head you already know it's going to be 1,200, 1,800, 2,200. How do you talk to the customer? Is there like a specific way? Or is there like a lot of people think like, what do I exactly say to this person to get them to book with me? Like,
every customer is different. Every customer is different, and it's really just approaching the customer and just be you. Do what you got to do to get your estimate out, get your pricing correct. So when you give it to them, you're good. Every customer really is different, and for me, it's a vibe, right? I love to connect with the customers. If you connect with your customers, it's literally like it's a green light all day.
And when are you talking to them like over the phone, through email, through Instagram DMs, through text?
If we're doing exteriors, I want to see the car in person. This way, I can really visually show the customer where to put the value in, right? So if I'm gonna charge you, let's per se, $1,500 for a 3-year coating, I'm gonna do a test area. And that way you can see, okay, this is where the money's going, this is how it's gonna look, and I'm confident with the price. But if sometimes some paints are hammered, I just tell them like, hey, don't expect a miracle out of this one.
So on that one, for any paint correction work, you do go. It's always in person.
In person.
Do you go to them or they come to you?
I go to them.
On that one, to inspect the paint, do you charge anything, or you just
no? I just want to go up there, and I go confident that I'm gonna nail this. So that's why I don't charge like a fee to go see the car. But some people, they tend to charge a fee to go look at the car, not me. Or if they come to me, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah. And on that one, so when you go out there, you're gonna do the talk, like you don't have like a sales mindset of like, okay, like I'm gonna look, like it's just more like I'm just talking to them,
yeah, it's just
giving them options, literally just talking to them, like they're just communicating, what do you want, what are your needs, and how can I help you achieve that?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, and a lot of my experience is based off working at the car wash for 15 years, so that built me up to where now it's like I relate a lot of things to the car wash. So it's like I can blame the car washes for a lot of things, right? And the customers relate to that, and that's how I'm able to convert the customers, because it's like a hand wax. My hand wax is literally like $300, $350, but a lot of times they're like, why are you so expensive? If I go to the car wash, it's $50. Well, many reasons, right? And I explain it to them. They're like, okay, this makes sense. So it's like I'm able to put a lot of worth in my work from a car wash work.
Okay, so the big question that a lot of people always get stumped on is, I want to do corrections. I want to have a $1,500 service, an $1,800 service. I want to apply coating, but I don't have the training or the experience or the know-how. So what was your process of like, did you ever get trained or anything?
No, I didn't get trained. The only training I really had was at the car wash, but we were buffing cars, so that's very old school. So I learned burning some of my family's cars.
So it was just hands-on on your own experience.
Hands-on, and then there's just so much stuff, right? I'm an old school detailer, and then when I started really learning into paint corrects, you need this pad, you need this pad, you need this kind of polish for this kind of paint. I was like, holy crap! I was like, this is a lot. So I stopped selling waxes because I wasn't doing the service correctly, which was claying and deconning and all that. So it's like now it's like, okay, I'm able to value my work, and now I know what to do correctly to where I offer it. But it's just working on your craft every day. Get you a test hood, a test panel, and work on it. And literally, you'll better your craft as you go.
So you had no formal training whatsoever?
No formal.
And now you're charging $1,500, $2,000, $2,300?
Now, yes.
Now, when customers ask you for a certification, what do you tell them?
Oh, I just tell them I'm not certified. But
first, has a customer ever asked you for certification?
I have yet for a customer to ask me any type of certifications. To be honest, I think it's the work I produce, and the work I showcase on a daily basis. It's really what validates me, right? And a lot of the customers from the car wash, since I quit, they've have helped me throughout all these years, referring me people. So it's like their worth is more valuable than anything. But people get mad at me when I say you don't need an IDA certification, which that's just an opinion. If you want to get an IDA, hey, go for it. But when you really put your time into this, you can showcase your work. It's flawless. And customers won't ask you for a certification. You know.
So the whole time, no one has ever like batted an eye, asked you about it, like nothing, because that's a big thing
No.
that a lot of people get caught
No.
on. It's like I need to go get, I need to get trained.
No. But again, that's just my opinion. I don't think, in my opinion, you don't need a certification.
And are you doing this at a shop? Like when you're doing correction and coatings, is this at a shop or at a?
I don't have a shop. It's usually mobile, but a lot of my customers have garages, and if I'm able to work fluently in the garage, then I'll service it there. If not, they'll bring it to me, and then I'll do it in my garage.
To your home location.
Yeah.
So you don't need a shop. You can actually have customers bring their vehicles
Yep.
to your home
To my
location
home garage,
and
yep.
work out of the garage.
Work out of there.
And has anyone ever said like, oh, you know what? I don't want to
No.
bring it to you because you're at a home garage, not a shop.
No, I even had a customer from Mississippi drive all the way over here
To drop off their vehicle
to Dallas
at your
at
home
my
location.
house, so I could work on it. So, hey, people are willing to drive to you. That speaks volume. To be honest, if they're willing to travel to you, and that's hours away, I mean, I don't need a certification for that.
Now, when so the person that's like excited to get started, they're like, man, if I just had more time to work on my business, I could blow this up, right?
No.
So they're at their job right now, and they're like, man, this place sucks. Like my boss sucks. I could do it way better than him, but I'm not gonna get promoted. And man, like if I could just spend more time on my business, I could blow this up. And they're like, you know what? I'm gonna quit. Mm-hmm. What's your advice to that?
Don't do it like me. I'm sure have yourself a reserve, right? I think if I could go back in time, and the day I quit, I wish I would have had more money saved, right? But you don't need a lot of money saved. If you get out there and grind and really put your mind to it, you'll be okay, right? If you quit your job today, trust me, a lot of people inbox me and they're like, bro, what do I do? I just say, bro, it's really up to you. If I were you, quit your job. Start your business tomorrow. And trust me, you'll have cars to clean. Don't overthink it. Just go at it. And you're going to have your battles with your business, but, I mean, it's worth it at the end, pretty much.
So we're gonna actually end it right here because Carlos has to drive back to Dallas. So you can follow him on. I'll post the links down below on his YouTube and Instagram. And he also does offer training. Where do you travel to for training?
So this is probably the first time I traveled to Houston. I hope it's not my last.
But do you travel for the trainings or is it primarily just Dallas?
Permanently just Dallas. But obviously, if I don't mind traveling.
You prefer not to?
I prefer not
well,
to.
if you're in Dallas, you
If
can
you're in
contact
Dallas, you can-
Carlos
you
for some
can-
training because you do one-on-one trainings in
I
Dallas,
do
right?
one-on-ones. Yeah, I focus on interior detailing, and then that's like an intro class, and then more of paint correction, ceramic coatings, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you want any of his details, his socials, just check down in the video description box below, and you can find that. And other than that, Carlos, thank you so much for swinging by. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you, brother. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Later.
Peace.
That's a wrap.